Your life may not be difficult because you're carrying too much. It may be difficult because you're refusing to put certain things down. The resentment you keep replaying, the approval you keep chasing, the future you keep worrying about, the person you keep trying to understand, and the version of yourself you're still trying to become. Some of these things don't look like problems. That's what makes them dangerous. They look like thinking. They look like ambition. They look like loyalty. They even look like strength. But slowly, they consume your attention. And the Stoics understood something most people learn much later. Peace doesn't always come from getting more. Sometimes it comes from removing what never deserved so much of your energy. So here are 10 things you may need to put down. Not tomorrow, not when everything is perfect, but starting now. 1. The need to be understood by everyone. You explain your decision, then you explain your reasons, then you explain what you really meant. And somehow, you're still trying to convince someone who already decided what they think of you. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You cannot control another person's interpretation of you. Epictetus begins his Enchiridion with a distinction between what is within our control and what isn't. He places our judgments, choices, desires, and actions on our side of that boundary, not other people's opinions. So ask yourself, do I actually need to correct their opinion of me? Or am I simply uncomfortable with being misunderstood? You don't have to win every person's approval. Sometimes, peace begins with letting them be wrong about you. 2. The need to know what happens next. Your mind wants certainty. Will it work? Will they stay? Will the opportunity come? Will everything turn out okay? So you keep analyzing, predicting, rehearsing conversations that haven't happened. But eventually, preparation becomes another form of anxiety. You don't need to live tomorrow before tomorrow arrives. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly brought himself back to the present and to the work immediately in front of him. You don't need the entire map, you need the next step. Take it, and deal with what comes after. 3. Keeping score. Who hurt you? Who disappointed you? Who didn't show up? Who succeeded while you struggled? Who owes you an apology? Keep enough of these records and resentment starts becoming a second memory system. You remember everything that proves you were wronged. But what is that record doing for you now? Letting go doesn't mean saying what happened was acceptable. It means refusing to keep paying for it. Learn the lesson. Set the boundary. Then stop carrying the emotional bill. 4. Comparing your timeline to everyone else's. Someone is ahead of you. Someone has more money. Someone achieved something earlier. Someone seems more confident. Someone appears to have the life you wanted. And if their life becomes your measuring stick, you'll never know when you've done enough. The Stoic question isn't, am I ahead of them? It's, am I governing myself well? Your responsibility isn't to win somebody else's life. It's to use your own life well. So stop asking, why am I not where they are? Ask, what am I doing with where I am? That question gives you power back. 5. The person you used to be. This one is harder, because sometimes you aren't holding on to the past because you love it. You're holding on to it because you don't know who you are without it. The old relationship, the old dream, the old identity, the version of you who thought life would look completely different by now. But the past can be a teacher without becoming your permanent address. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly reminded himself that life is constantly changing and that the present is the part actually available to us. You are allowed to outgrow a version of yourself. You don't have to keep proving that person was worth becoming. Become who you are now. 6. The need to win every argument. Not every disagreement deserves your energy. Some conversations are about understanding. Others are about ego. You make your point. They make theirs. You explain, they counter. And suddenly, 20 minutes have disappeared. Ask yourself, if I win this argument, what actually changes? If the answer is nothing, walking away may be the more intelligent move. Silence isn't always weakness. Sometimes it's judgment. 7. Expectations you never chose. There are goals you genuinely want, and then there are goals you inherited, what your family expected, what your friends consider successful, what society tells you you're supposed to want, and you can become extremely successful at building a life that doesn't actually belong to you. So ask yourself something uncomfortable. If nobody could see my life, would I still want this? If the answer changes, pay attention, because some desires are yours, and some were simply handed to you. 8. Reacting immediately. Someone sends a message. You answer. Someone criticizes you. You defend yourself. Someone provokes you. You react. Then later, you wish you had waited. The Stoic discipline is not complicated. Create space between what happens and what you do next. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of examining the judgment you form about what happens rather than allowing the event itself to dictate your inner state. So pause. You don't have to respond at the speed of your emotions. A few seconds of restraint can prevent hours of regret. 9. Treating every discomfort as a warning. Not everything uncomfortable is harmful. Learning is uncomfortable. Discipline is uncomfortable. Changing direction is uncomfortable. Saying no is uncomfortable. Doing something difficult without knowing the outcome is uncomfortable. If you run from every uncomfortable feeling, you'll eventually train yourself to choose whatever is easiest. Instead, ask, is this actually wrong for me? Or is it simply difficult? Those are very different questions. Discomfort isn't always a sign to stop. Sometimes it's evidence that you're doing something that requires growth. And 10. Trying to control what was never yours. This is the one underneath all the others. You cannot control another person's choices. You cannot control their feelings. You cannot control their opinion of you. You cannot control the past. You cannot guarantee the outcome. You cannot force life to follow your timeline, but you can control your judgment, your choices, your effort, your response, your character. Epictetus put the principle plainly. Some things are in our control and others not. Epictetus, Enchiridion, Chapter 1. That's not a message to become passive. It's a message to stop wasting your strength on things that cannot obey you, because every minute spent trying to control what belongs to someone else is a minute taken away from what actually belongs to you. Your attention, your decisions, your conduct, your life. So maybe the question isn't, what else do I need? Maybe it's, what am I carrying that I can finally put down? The resentment, the comparison, the explanation, the argument, the expectation, the old identity, the fear of tomorrow, the need for approval, the need to react, the need to control. You don't have to release all of it tonight. Choose one, just one, and put it down, quietly, without announcing it, without needing anyone to notice, because real change doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like not replying. Sometimes it looks like accepting that someone misunderstood you. Sometimes it looks like doing today's work instead of worrying about tomorrow. Sometimes it looks like walking away from an argument that no longer deserves you. And sometimes it simply sounds like this. This no longer deserves my energy. Marcus Aurelius wrote about returning inward to find tranquility and described that retreat as a kind of ordering of the mind. You don't need to control the entire world to have a calmer life. You need to become more selective about what you allow to control you. So, tonight, don't try to become a completely different person. Just put one unnecessary burden down. Then another tomorrow. And eventually, you may discover something powerful. A stronger life isn't always built by carrying more. Sometimes, it's built by carrying less. This is Quiet Command. Follow for more Stoic wisdom, self-mastery, and timeless philosophy.